Hello, everyone. I'm going to be going over each of the different components of the 10 competencies and rate them on a scale of 1 to 5 at this point in the semester. So let's start off with the first prompt, the first competency. Number 1, demonstrating ethical and professional behavior. At this point, I would say, given everything that I've been doing with the master's program and my internship with youth villages, I would say I'm between a 3 and a 4. I don't think there will ever be a point in my life where I will be master of demonstrating ethical and professional behavior. But given all the experiences I've had with dealing with real clients, it has been my goal to work on effectively being there for them and putting on this role as a professional and putting aside personal feelings. So I believe that is where I need to grow, that professional side, building that professionalism just a little bit more, leaning more towards the 4. So the second competency is engaging diversity and difference in practice. Given my cultural background growing up overseas, this is definitely a 4 for me, especially getting into rural Tennessee and seeing different families with their different social and economic backgrounds. I would say that this is definitely a solid 4 for me. Working with these families, I'm able to see how diverse some of the families that I work with, and that's through varying social and economic statuses. But one thing that is in common with each of the families that I work with is that there is a need for mental health stability for at least one youth in their home. And then that's where our intercept services come in. So continuing to build that, I would say just continuing to embrace the differences in each of the families and understanding that these differences shape who they are. So I definitely want to continue growing in that. The third is advancing human rights and social, economic, and environmental justice. I would say I'm a 4 on this one. I've had my fair share of getting involved in the community and understanding that the rights of the clients that I work with are very important. And it's my goal to be that person as a social worker in this family environment. And so to continue growing in that, I would say I want to grow by even going even above and beyond sometimes. Sometimes I just do what is expected of me. Sometimes I want to continue that and get to the point where I don't even have to be asked to do some of the things that I do. Just doing it and getting out in the community and doing it. Number 4, engaging in practice-informed research and research-informed practice. I would say I'm between a 3 and a 4 on this one. I'm still emerging, but I'm definitely getting closer to proficient in this, given that I've gotten my bachelor's in social work and now working on the master's and all the on-the-job training and training that I've gotten through collaborative problem solving and other interventions that I've learned at youth villages has really grown me into a professional, and each of the things that I've learned are evidence-based and has given me knowledge of how to better serve my clients and pretty much show how the interventions that I'm using can be improved and how they work and how successful they are. And continuing to grow, like I said for the very first one, this is something that you're always going to continue to learn. So I want to take every opportunity that I can to learn new topics and ideas, so that way I can go out in the community and be a better professional and learning new interventions and learning the new thing learning the new and effective ways of doing things, because times will change. So I want to move with the times. So the fifth one is engage in policy practice. I would say I'm 4 on this one. One of the very first things that I try to do before I start a new job is look at the policy manual and kind of see what is expected of me. And I always want to strive to do that. And that is through maintaining appropriate wear, like what I'm wearing, and how I engage my clients, maintaining that therapeutic relationship and not crossing those boundaries. I strive to maintain that, letting them know and trying to maintain self-care through it all as well. And I've had the opportunity to attend different conferences on how to build effective policy practice. So I would say I'm definitely at a 4 for this one. To continue, as mentioned in the previous competency, I would say I'm going to always continue to grow, because there always will be some new policy that will emerge, and it is my desire to continue following those policies when they come out and be informed when they come out. And that might be through receiving an email about a policy change, and so I try to take close observation of those. Then we have number 6, engaging with individuals, families, groups, and organizations and communities. I would say I'm definitely not a master of it, but I definitely would say I'm a 4, because with each client I have different resources for each client that I go reach out into the community and bring them into the case. Through releases of information, I communicate with each of those individuals, and then the ultimate goal is to bring each of those outside organizations into one central case, so that everyone is informed and everyone is on the same page. So I would definitely say I'm a 4. I would say to continue to build this one, I would say continuing to understand what other resources are in the community and building upon those, and really trying to understand who is involved in the community and what resources are available in the new communities if I decide to move somewhere else. Number 7. We just did number 7. Number 8. Number 7. Assessing individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities. Kind of playing on this one, this is definitely another 4. My role is to understand what resources that client has to their availability, and I want to take those skills and bring them into the case, because these resources for the client are their strengths. And so building an understanding of what resources are available in the community lays a good foundation for serving them in the long run for the duration of that case. To continue to grow this, like I said before for the previous one, it's definitely learning the new organizations that come out in the community, and if changing communities, learning the differences between one community that I previously worked into to the new community, and how things are different, how the community shapes the environment. And then number 8, intervening with individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities. I would say that I'm definitely between a 3 and 4 on this. There are some areas where I have better experience with, such as going to court and representing a client at court, given my history with working with A&D and now working with clients and occasionally work in the juvenile justice system. And now I would there are some other areas that I say that I would need some growth in, but overall I would definitely say I'm a 3 or 4 between that. And to continue to grow that, I would definitely say understanding, going back to understanding that client's resources that are available to them, and definitely trying to utilize each of those resources for the case. Number 9, engage practice with individuals, families, and groups and organizations and communities. Evaluating practice. I would definitely say that this is definitely a 3, between a 3 and a 4 for me. As I work as a social worker, it is my goal to understand how effective I am serving as a social worker. And in my practice, I strive to get feedback from the clients that I'm working with on how effective interventions are, how appropriate my contact with them is, if they feel comfortable with me, and then through professional collaboration with through consultation, which I get consistently every week on my treatment plans, that gives me the opportunity to see feedback on my practice as a social worker and clinically assessing each case. And so to continue to grow this one, I would definitely say learning to understand how to receive feedback more. And it is my desire to continue to receive that feedback positively, because that is the biggest way that I'll continue to grow as a social worker. And then finally, appreciate the context of Christian higher education for social work education. As a Christian, it is my duty to be all in for Christ. And as a social worker, all my duties line up with the call of my faith. So I would definitely say I'm 4 in this, because since I grew the desire to become a social worker, it was to do things for the least of these, as it says in the Bible. In the same way, as a social worker, I want to do that for each and every client that crosses my path. I want to serve them. I want to be there for them. I want to model a life that Christ would have lived on this earth when he did live on this earth. And I want people to see him before they see myself. I want them to see a loving heart, someone that cares about them despite whatever baggage they come in with that door, and letting them know that they're not alone in their struggle. Even though I'm not taking on the struggle myself, I'm helping them through that situation to the best of my ability. And so in the same way, as a Christian, we're called to do that as well. So I definitely appreciate the context of Christian higher education for social work. To build this, I would definitely continue to say, continuing to go to classes here at Union, and interacting with other Christian social workers, and just seeing their perspectives of how Christianity shapes their practice, and apply the lessons that I learned from them to my personal practice as well. As I said before, my goal is to do it to the least of these and serve everyone that crosses my path, even the people that are closest to me. So thank you for listening, and I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year.